All right, welcome Simon Knight, who's going to talk to us about the Fresh framework.
Sorry guys. Okay. Hello everyone. This is a fresh look at the Fresh framework. Hello everyone. This is a fresh look at the Fresh framework. I'm Simon Knight. I am 12 years old. I'm in 7th grade. I do computer science as my hobby. I work with Python and JavaScript, and I do software and web development. My Twitter is @SBKCoder. Please follow me. Pity follow. So just so we can base you, because this is all probably new stuff for you. So Fresh is a next-gen, brand new web framework that I think came out a couple months ago. It uses Preact, if any of you have heard of that before, which is just React but a bit faster and uses some more simple ways of rendering. And also it uses Island and client-based hydration. If you have no idea what that means, I guarantee you will by the end of this presentation. Fresh, how is it made? How does this whole thing work? I've promised you something. How am I gonna follow up on it? So first you have to install Dino, which we'll get to later, and run the Dino create Fresh in your console. Have the Fresh website created up, write all that fancy JSX you want, write all of that, set up hydration, islands, and then publish it on Vercel, AWS, Google Cloud, and then your clients will reach it at blazingly fast speeds. So you may have been asking me, what exactly is Dino? I've never heard of this before. So Dino is a new software that allows you to run JavaScript at very fast speeds, a JavaScript runtime, if any of you have heard that before. It was built in the V8 engine, the same thing as Node Package Manager. It supports TypeScript out of the box for you TypeScript fans. I've seen some of you before. From some speed tests that were run, I believe, a couple months ago with all the V8 engines, it runs in best circumstances twice as fast as Node, and at the worst, 50% faster. Also, many companies have slowly started to switch to Dino, such as Amazon and Microsoft, so that might be a thing to think of. So hydration, do any of you know what hydration is?
H2O.
Wonderful. That's what my brother said when I practiced this in front of him.
I know what it is. It's when the DOM attaches events to HTML, makes it the user able to click on inputs and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I like to think of it as, instead of all that fancy buzzword stuff, I like to think of it as when you open the web page, it's turned into think of it as the fairy godmother comes and slashes her wand onto it, and it's now a reactive component. Yeah. So there's some pros and cons of using hydration. The pros, it can be very fast. It's easy to implement, and it requires a low amount of JavaScript if you're trying to set it up all across the website. The cons are it is hard to scale for a large website, and I've got a recommendation. If you are seriously considering using Fresh for your company's or your personal website that is very large and you want to scale it, I would like to recommend evaluating using Fresh versus Quick. I think both of those are very good options. So island rendering, do any of you know what that is? Okay, so island rendering is a web structure where it is exactly it's Occam's razor, I think that's what it's called. The simplest thing is the web components are like islands in a sea of the website. So the pros, it encourages compact reactive components, which can help with user experience. It's easy to implement, and if you're using basic islands, it's just HTML, which is why most island-based frameworks use HTML-first frameworks like Quick. Also, if you want even faster islands, I'd recommend using Astro, which just came out with 1.0 a couple months ago. So some other Fresh features, all JS is shipped to the client by default. There's no build step, no site configuration, types supported in the box, and edge render. Now you may be thinking, what is that last one? I'm glad you asked. So edge rendering is a brand new like rendering technique that I've kind of fallen in love with over the past months, and I've used for all my personal projects. So it's as you can see from the background logo that seems to have a bunch of ants crawling around it. It's mainly used in Vercel hosting, which I would kind of recommend because it's better. Edge rendering is a new programming technique. It allows you to have it's very fast, however it can be slower in some situations, which is why most backend frameworks like Next.js allow you to opt in and out of edge rendering on certain components because, for example, someone did like the math and the speeds and all of that. Edge rendering does not work if you're like trying to have the client download from a server or like request stuff from a server, from like a large server. It can become significantly slower, but that's why you can opt in and out for flexibility. So why should you use Fresh? I've talked about it so much from now, and you might not be convinced. I can convince you. So there's a minimal amount of work. It has a great workflow. It has tri-hydration and island development, which are easy to implement. And it uses Preact, which is being funded by Google right now. They give them $50K as part of this like development thing where they give to like all these next-gen frameworks, you know, stuff like Svelte, Quick, you know, and pretty cool logo. I think I've convinced all of you. So you might be one. A Fresh example. Yeah, we've got some examples of Fresh. Yeah, so this is the Fresh website itself. As you can see, we've got an island right here of this looping animation of the drop falling. We've got this like island here of static HTML telling you about it. We've got these islands of like, you know, Dino running. We've got this is how they explain hydration. It tells us when it was rendered, and as you can see, it's fully interactive. Blazingly fast speeds. I'm telling you. So, of course, they have a showcase of it. I think my favorite one has to be the Dino merch one. I started writing this and realized that they had merch for Fresh 2 days before this, so I wasn't able to get some. I would have given some away. But okay, so this, I think, really shows how amazing hydration in islands can be in a shopping format for like ecom. Oh my God, it's a lot of ants. They've spread. They've reproduced. Oh God, you might want to move workspaces. So, like as you can see, we've got like these islands of interactivity. We've got this island. We've got like the homepage for Dino. So let's just say I want to purchase this amazing Fresh sticker sheet. I can click to add it to cart and look. Add to cart. Adding. Look at how quickly it requests to the server because it uses an island, because it separates all of that stuff instead of being in all this mumbo. It's a lot like Storybook, which Lewis was talking about, because it's like one component, and instead of dealing with all the jargon of like this spider web of all these other components you have, it just focuses on this, and the server focuses on it. It's the magic of island rendering. And it's just like, and also shows hydration, allowing the interactivity to be very quick and have the server requests to be very quick as well. Just gonna, there's another example. It's not quite as cool as this. It's just it's a bit more simple. It's the Dino chat. We've got KK. We've got Kai Kugular. I don't know. Sounds. We've got Asta, lol. Okay, so we got 3 messages in this island. We've got this island that allows you to mesh, and we got these 2 islands that are like buttons. So you can see, like, you know, it has interactivity, it has requests to servers, it has like all that stuff that you'd expect that for like a next-gen web framework to support. So, Daniel, you have like any questions about Fresh? Start here.
You can go back to the counter page.
Oh yes, the counter page.
The counter demo. So is this syncing with like a backend database? This number here, this 3.
I believe so.
So if you mash the plus sign as fast as you can.
I've trained for this all my life. My years of
Oh no!
I've overloaded.
Too fast. Blazingly fast.
So we don't have view into the backend database here, do we?
Yeah, I think it's. Oh yeah. Wait, so it's kind of all the JS. So as you can see, only the JS that's required to render is sent to the client by default. Sorry, your question was a bit complex for me.
Can you refresh the page? Because it seems like I have a 743 and it's 2344. So it's been
I
like
gotta add one more number. Haha, very hard. We've got a middle school number. I'll break that on the schoolyards. Yes, over there.
Alrighty. So would this work for this framework? Would this, because of its simplicity, would this work on like on a monolith content management system like WordPress?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure there is definitely compatibility with Fresh, considering Dino is much more widespread than it was when Fresh was created now. So there's probably some mad lad out there that's gonna save someone's company that has a GitHub repo showing you how to like use Fresh with WordPress. And like so like one of the main part of Edge rendering, I forgot to say this, but it is like based off of like a monolith server. So like you have one server and all connections are gone to that. So you over there?
Yeah, so I have a question about like the island rendering and the rendering being done in the component level, not just at the browser level. So like, is that component, is it managing its own state? Like how does state work with island rendering? If like two components are island rendering, are they sharing state or?
So yeah, so you can there's island. I know my explanation was a bit weird, but keep in mind I am in 7th grade. Okay. So there's this lovely island in Norway, and it's this island. I think it's to the west of it, and it's this. It's an island, and it has a lake in it, and there's an island in there. So think of it as that. We've got say. I wish I had like a whiteboard to draw on, but like think of it as we have a button, and that button makes that counter go. Actually, you know what? We got it right here. So we've got this. This is a component. This is an island. This is an island. This is an island. This is an island. So we've got sub-islands that can connect with each other. But say if we have this request, this is only communicating with this island. So it's not going to be communicated with like this island. So it helps with like speed.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Also, if you want to learn more about islands, I'd recommend checking out the Astro docs. They talk about them in a lot of detail. Yes, you over there?
Yeah. So you mentioned that you have to use Dino to render Fresh. So Dino, isn't that a server-side VA engine? So why is that required?
Because the people at Dino created Fresh. It wasn't like it was made in Fresh. No, Dino itself created Fresh as like their thing. So yes, you would have to use Dino, but I believe all like npm packages have been like all the important things. So like if you want to like npm install something, there is either Dino version or a alternative.
Yeah, I figured Preact you can use in npm.
Yes. So of course, yes. So yeah, of course it is hard to switch from npm to Dino or like Dino to bun to npm. It's it's a very hard and very, I assume, ant-filled situation like this. I don't know why I keep bringing up the ants, but they scare me. So it's So like yeah. So Dino, it's like able to do a lot of stuff that npm does, but just faster. So I believe I did a project in Dino once, and when I first tried out Fresh, if I wanted to install a dependency, I would just look up so first I would look up the dependency itself and see if in the GitHub repo it showed for Dino, and I'd say so it's part of the work process. You just kind of look for a Dino way to do it. Okay. Any more questions?
I did want to circle back just to confirm. So when you're incrementing that button, every time it goes up, that's not a client-side behavior we're witnessing. That's server-side changes happening in real time.
So this is Yes. So this is happening in real time, but this is not connected to a database.
Okay.
The browser is running this. Like,
Okay.
there's not a database out there running this. We are running. Like, my laptop right now is running this. Like, yeah, like Google takes like, say, like a heap of RAM, it puts it into the like area that's like, okay, this is how you increment the button. So that'd be the best way I would explain it. So that's all. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you.